I am Nick Shell, and I am the self-help hacker, giving you the answers to the test that I wish I had. No one said, hey man, something for you right here. And then they gave me the cheat codes to the, no one did that for me. I had to figure these out myself. So here I am at age 38, helping those that are probably younger than me figure out things that are so simple, but no one told me. For example, it's okay to be perceived as the villain. I am totally comfortable being perceived as the villain because to many people, I am. I have been, I will be, I always will be, whatever the occasion is. Some people are going to perceive me as a villain. Perceive is the real word. Perceived villain. And that's important that we recognize that a lot of our adversaries, or a lot of our enemies, it's a bit arbitrary that we even see them as our enemy to begin with, or as a villain. But it's a matter of morality. A lot of people, by default, what do they say about themselves? I feel like I'm a good person. I try to be a good person. Yeah, I'm a good person. I rarely hear people say, yeah, I'm a bad person. I rarely hear that. I don't know that I've really ever heard that. The closest thing to that is me saying that maybe to some people I am a bad person. See, that's the thing. I made a video about character alignment and chaotic good. And ultimately it comes down to good over evil, I choose good. Helping others or myself, I choose others. Following the law and abiding the law, it depends. Can I help others and do the right thing? Because I understand that when it comes to morality, the law and the right thing are not always the same thing. And all we have to do is look at American history to figure out, oh yeah, slavery used to be legal. Oh yeah, all kinds of things that are horrible used to be legal. And to go against that was breaking the law. So yeah, they're not necessarily the same thing. And see, in the same way that the law and the right moral thing are not always the same, it's the same way in these little microscopic versions of this. There are all kinds of people, if I really got to talking to people and told them let's say I told them my views on whatever it is. If it were politics or religion or abortion or whatever it is, perhaps I would immediately be the perceived villain. Oh, he believes the opposite of me. He's the villain. If they knew that about me. And if we went around wearing it on our sleeve, what we believed, whatever the thing is, people would see us as the enemy. And I've experienced that in the years of doing all these videos. There are always going to be people who don't like me. They don't agree with me. I give a recent example here because it's out of this series. I have another series, Hamster Dad. It's funny how owning a hamster can upset people, but man, I've learned that people in the United States think that I'm a great hamster owner. I have a 20-gallon aquarium and I put all kinds of fun stuff in there. I keep them active. I play with them. It's a great thing. Yay, America. But I've learned that people in Europe don't like me so much because I guess in certain parts of Europe it's illegal, or I guess the law says you have to have a 40-gallon aquarium. So when they see my 20, they get all upset. They leave angry comments. It bothers them that I'm not ever going to upgrade to the 40. So it's funny. So to the American hamster owners, I'm the hero. And to the European ones, I'm this horrible person. And that's one of the many ways. Random example, but it's true. They perceive me as a villain, a bad guy, a bad person. So when it comes to morality, yeah, we want to see ourselves as a good person. But based on someone else's moral code, it's impossible to be. It's impossible to be a good person in everyone's eyes. You can only be a good person in some people's eyes, or maybe most people's eyes. But there's always going to be people out there who see you as a bad person. Whether they see you as morally a bad person. Maybe they see you as incompetent or ignorant or just flat out wrong. And you have to be okay with that. That's the place I've come to in life. I've accepted there will always be people out there, whether it's the internet or real life, or whether it's somebody on the interstate that gets mad at me because they think that I cut them off or whatever it was. There's always going to be people who perceive me as the villain. There's always going to be people who perceive me as immoral, ignorant, and or wrong. And they automatically, because of tribalism, that was the very first video in the series, because of tribalism, they're going to say, that guy's the bad guy, that guy's the villain. And to them, I am. And I instantly accept that role. To them, I'm the villain, I accept that. And yet still on the inside, in my mind, I'm the same person. But their perception is the only thing that's different. There will always be people who see you as the villain. And I think for me, it becomes so arbitrary because I think of my childhood when I was always in these plays. I was in a play, Snow White, and the girl who played the evil witch or whatever she is, mirror, mirror on the wall, whatever that is, she was a couple years older than me, and she played the part so well, and it really helped make the play. And at the end, I remember like people going up to her, oh, you did such a good, I think her name was Tiffany. You did such a good job, Tiffany, of playing that part of the evil queen. And I was like 10 at the time. I was thinking, yeah, but she's the bad guy. Like, because I was a kid, I was a child. So I couldn't think, oh, she's acting and she's doing a good job at it. But that story makes me think of how all this happens. Like, okay, she was playing a part and she played it very well as the bad guy, the villain. The evil queen in Snow White. She played it very well and did a good job and made that experience good because she played the part well. Now, internally, did she think, oh, I'm a bad person, I'm evil? No, she thought, I'm a good actor. People perceive me as the villain. And I guess that's how I feel. I feel there will always be those people who don't recognize it's almost like we're all just living in a play anyway. Because if we perceive someone as a bad person, then in our mind they are a bad person. Which is why, and I said this early on in this series too, I personally refuse to look down on people that I fundamentally disagree with. Now granted, am I perfect at that? No. In fact, these things I talk about in the videos, have I perfected them? Absolutely not. Part of the perfection process, even though they'll never be perfect, is that I talk about it openly. It's always a note to self when I make these videos. It's always a note to self, reminding myself as I'm helping others with these concepts. The concept, you're the bad guy. You're the villain. You know what you are? You're wrong. You're ignorant. You're immoral. You're all those things. Do I think that of you? No. But somebody does, and somebody always will think that of you. Are you okay with that? Because I am. When you get older and more mature in life experience, you start accepting certain things aren't going to change. Certain things don't matter that you used to give power and value to. And it's this disillusion. But I'm a good person. Are you though? Maybe to most, maybe to yourself, but not to all. And as long as there's people out there who don't agree that you're a good person, then to them, and are you okay with knowing that someone is always going to think that about you? I am. Because if not, imagine how chaotic that would be. Imagine that life. Oh no, but I want them to like me. I want them to like me. I don't want them to think I'm a bad person. No, but no. No. Life is all about you figuring out who you are, what you believe, letting that be your identity, and being okay with knowing that not everybody's going to like you. It goes back to the concept of the attempt to be seen by the world ultimately makes you invisible. The more you actually know who you are, then you actually stand out. The whole paradox of I want people to like me. I'm afraid to stand out. When maybe if you stood out, people would actually notice you. Your comments right here.